Yo, 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 what's going on, people? What's good? There, you know. Yo, I'm ready for drop another mixtape on no blood clot. Alright, so yo, check this. We're going to talk about how, well, yo, hear me I say. I'm going to show you how I approach the market and based on the concepts that I learned, and hopefully it makes sense to you. This is not financial advice, but I believe that this is the easiest way to approach the market. Hold on, let me drink some water. And I'm going to show you what I believe and what has been working for me. Right now, I advise you to seek this out for yourself on different pairs. Um, spend a week just looking at this shit before you try and put some money on it, right? Get comfortable with it. All right, so yo, look. Um, Concepts obviously based off of DTFX, right? And the most basic concept that this thing is all about is the swing. Is the swing, right? And this is the swing, right? So you have the damn. You have a high, a low. You have a high, see? And then you have it swing up like a Nike check mark. Just look for the Nike logo. You can have the Nike logo going swishing this way, or you can have the Nike logo going swishing that way. Right? Most of us are more comfortable with the Nike logo swishing this way. Right? That's just to simplify it. And then you have the 50%, right? No. Price go down to the 50% and it bunks off, right? Now, after that, there's a lot more theories going on. You know, a lot more, I wouldn't say theories, but there's a lot more concepts surrounding this. But if you trying to make some money, no, forget all that other shit. Just look at this, right? And I'm going to show you how knowing this alone can damn near, well, not even damn near, can change your life. All right, so yo, check this, right? Inside this thing here, like most of the time, you know, people come and wait for the 50 and bomb, right? Sometimes some people pick a big swing to where they're waiting all day. Some people like to pick small swings to where them don't have to wait all day. But inside these swings, once you know something, that the things that's going on inside of here, all right, let me just shut up and show you. All right, so yo, check this. You have a zone here normally, right? Normally you have a zone down here, and this zone here is the zone that caused this break right here, right? Let me just put the zone here. Most times, right? Most times, this boy here, this little down move here, gets killed, right? Gets killed on the way down, right? On the way down, it gets killed. But somewhere under here, there is a zone. Most of the times, it's near the 50% that it will bounce off of, right? And give you a move. Not necessarily to shoot all the way out here, but it will give you a move that you can eat off of, right? Just know that you can eat off of this, right? But this is just a snack. This is not like a big meal, right? Because most times what happens after that, right, is that price is not satisfied. It wants something more, right? No, this zone here is always a short scalp, right? Now, as you go lower, you have another zone underneath this bad boy right here, right? This zone is more powerful, right? And the reason why this zone is more powerful because this zone was responsible for breaking some important high over here, right? I'm going to show you more detail. Just stay with me, right? So this zone is mostly is probably here or up here, right? Most of the time, it could be this zone itself that I'm talking about, right? It could be this zone itself also, right? But sometimes it's like a little bit, depending on the size of the swing, it's a little bit lower. But then when it hit here, should you see this setup, expect some food, right? Now, sometimes and most times it will just run through all of this and then go up higher, right? So how you know which one, to choose, and how you know how you make sense of all of this, right? So check this. Check this. So you see this. This is the 1 minute chart, right? And this is the 1 minute. This is what you see right here. This is what you see. And you're like, damn, this shit look just like a razor blade going on, but you can't really trust it because it just look weird. It just look it don't look nothing like the Nike swish. But this is where you have to open up your eyes, because see I swish here, bam, right? That's a swish. It's a Nike. That's a zone. This is the zone that it leaves behind, right? And this is the range that it creates, right? And this is the top of the range, and this is the base coming out the bottom. This is the base of the range, the bottom of the range, right? So, like I said before, remember, you have the zone. Let me change the color. You have the zone that we get some water. You have the zone that run the high, or associated that the zone that run the high, right? And like I say, this zone usually get clapped on the way back down, right? So you have this zone. No, granted. Just right after the zone get clapped, you get a reaction up. Some people, if them experiencing that, them can try it. You know what I mean? But the people who like to play it safe look for the zone after that, which is this down here. And if you look carefully, see, remember the zone I tell you about, you can get a quick reaction up. This is it here, right? This is it here. You see how it come into life now. And I said this zone is usually short-lived. You come down and don't you and look. A lot of people will say, yo, this is hindsight information you telling me because you just show me, and all you do, you just look for something like this. Bro, let me tell you something. These concepts came from hindsight, right? There is no way these things would develop if people was not looking on the shit that was already left behind, right? And then you study it, and then you kind of like test it on the demo, and then you can use it in real life. I'm gonna show you some shit, right? Because most of the times we're in this environment right here, and we don't know what to do, right? But if you just look for the swing and look for these things, you can say, okay, this is what's going on. And this is for all time frames. And when I show it on all time frames, then you're going to be like, oh, all right. So just stay with me. All right. So, yo, at the bottom here is where you get the most juice coming out, right? And usually this zone is the zone. Inside this zone is another zone responsible for breaking a trend. And when I say breaking a trend, I mean breaking the momentum of the down move. So it's like you have these down moves coming down, and if you count your swings or even just trail your highs and lows, you would see that this is a protected high here that got broken by a zone let's just say this, or this here, this down move here, right? It doesn't matter. It's just making it smaller, but it's the region. And if you look across, you see activity happen within this region here, right? Or if you want to get smart, this could be the zone that the one that break the trend. But if you take your risks down here in this zone, you'll be successful more often than not. The problem with most of us is that we don't fucking wait for it to come down here, right? And I say it like that because I'm saying it with passion, because I'm talking to myself. When I did just start, I couldn't fucking wait, right? That was my problem. But even if this shit take all day for you to get down here, and you're not comfortable making these quick moves here, and you want some money right now, you wait till it come down here, right? So yo, check this. I'm gonna show you how this concept. Don't even look at all this shit surrounding it, but I want to mention some of this, right? So now you notice that, let's say you take your money here and you come out. I don't advise you to stay here and make it come all the way. You take your money and you're gone, right? Cool. Some people take their money and them get killed, right? But check this. If you zoom out, if you get killed and you wonder, why did I get killed? Why didn't it hold? Why didn't it shoot up like the little one here? Is that this is just a small part of this larger picture, right? But this larger picture is just a small part of another larger friggin' picture. Let me bring it. The 15-minute. Look where you are at. Damn. On the 15-minute chart. You're right here. You're at the top. Right? Of something bigger like this. And it all follow the same rule, right? The zone that responsible for the break. Then you have the zone that responsible for breaking the trend down, right? All of it more or less at the 50. So you would know that the shit going down. Alright. So yo, check this, right? Let's say you trying to make some bread now and you can't wait for it to... Is this shit still recording? I hope so. You can't wait for it to come down here. Right? Well, you're probably going to have to start making money by using the other switch. Right? And the thing about this is you'll make more money using the other switch because you know there's a larger magnetic force, let's just call it that, pulling it down. So you're going with the momentum of this thing. Now, honestly, this is not always foolproof because this shit can just come here and go straight up, right? And that would be because a larger picture is being painted. A larger zone is being painted, right? But I don't believe so because there is no highs nearby here. I could be wrong, but let's just go to what we have right now. Let's not over assume anything. See? So yo, boom. We'll go so. And we'll have this switch here. And like I said, the zones in the switch, how they affect the way how this thing moves. So like I said, just opposite, it's just the opposite of the upward switch. You have the zone that responsible for breaking the thing or somewhere beyond that. Just know when price coming back up here, that price might come up to this and take it. So you can either ride the momentum coming up this way if you want, if you're sure, or you can just wait, which I advise to wait until it come to the zone that is after it and then take your money. And the common thing for this is you always wait until the zone just above you get destroyed, and you always make sure that you're either you're longing at the bottom of the range, which is the range here. See the bottom here, and you're shorting from the top, which is short here, but because you're following this momentum down, it breaking thing, right? So I'm going to go to another time frame, and we're just going to go to we're going to look at some, what you call it, some hindsight analysis that people always complaining about seeing, um, and we can see one right here. We can see this swing here, and if we notice, we're now in the larger range that is created, that created this swing here, right? Which this is not a very strong swing if you take a look at it, because the high is not very high and you have the tightening right here. But I wouldn't be surprised if it either come up here, create equal highs, and run all of this, and then, but this is just me speculating. We're looking at what we see now. So you have this zone here. Like I said, you have the zones at the top that you don't really want to mess with. Look at this one right here. You have this zone here, and it's like, yo, it you get a little punch off it, and it gone up. No, granted, if this was a large zone from a larger range, which this is in fact a large zone from a larger range, because I'm gonna show you that this is a larger range, but because just know, so the larger ranges, you have more time to stay in them for the riskier trade. So like this one, you see how it's so small, and it's a part of this small time frame here. Then bro, don't stay in this shit too long. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't even be trading from this. Look at it. You don't make no money from this. So just wait till this get killed. Right? And then look, the zone right next to it. Oh my God. The same shit. Right? And then look, this zone was responsible for the running of this high here. Right? But guess what? This is just a part of a larger zone. Like, remember, this is the same thing. This little thing here is just a part. So yeah, you get a strong move out, but what I say, you get a little scalp out here, some people, and then sometimes it'll come down, and sometimes it'll go up to the high here. Right now, unless it break the high, you see, no, you might think, oh, it's going up, but what it's doing is forming the pattern equal high, run these lows. And if I see this pattern right here, I know that, okay, I can get some more food down here from the big zone, which the zone that is responsible for breaking this larger zone here is this small zone here, right? And look, bam, and then you get some, you get some resistance, and you get something that going on. But yo, even though you have this narrative here, you still have this. But I'm not here to tell you that this is going to happen right away, because you look, it happened. Yeah, we said it was supposed to happen, but it shoot up and even come above this. But that don't mean later on in life, maybe it take a day, 2 days, this thing might come crashing down, because look where you're at. You're just a smaller part of an even larger swing. You get what I'm saying? And the things that are in this swing must also get fulfilled. Right? Look, we have the little zone here that break to start the little zone. The little zone that always get clapped is right here. And you have the zone here that's waiting on it. So this look like something that is also going to be fulfilled. So why would I want to like anticipate or believe that when I'm in a buy, which is down here, I must hold it to go all the way to the top? Because it's not looking like that. It's looking like it's trying to fulfill something bigger, right? And then if you go with that, you know what I mean? If you go with that, awareness around your neck, then you should be cool. So like here now, as a matter of fact, we can go other examples and look and see. So like look, this is, let me go back to the 1 hour, because you can even do like certain things with this. Look, it's this is when chances are we're at the bottom of something. So you have this Nike checkpoint here. So if you see this Nike checkpoint here, right, larger, remember this is 1 hour, and you know that it usually trade up to the 50%. Even though it might look bearish now, the bullish activity is still playing out. And yes, even though it don't go back to the 50, it go damn near close. But best believe, what did it do? You could at least depend on the fact that the zone that is here is gonna get slaughtered, right? Based on the stuff we've always been talking about. This little zone here is gonna get slaughtered, and then beyond that, it's gonna get rejected by something shorter. But remember, this rejection might be short-lived. To go deeper, look, see, it reject, yeah, cool, and it break this low, but it actually kill it. But if you if you get what I'm saying, it come up here and then it come down here. But look at the food that's in here. And if you look at it again, and then now you can look at this and be like, all right, we're in bullish momentum, which look, we're underneath this thing. So there's this is a large zone compared to this. So this is the one that's doing the controlling. So you can see that, there's a lot of bullish activity here, even though the larger map is suggesting that, is going bearish, which it didn't even go bearish, because it's probably something larger here that is, look, see, look, this is a zone here. And it looked like price just touched this big mega zone. You see that? You see how it all plays out? And then it come back down and it's like, nah, let's get some more. Because it's a part of a big mega zone. So like all you do, you just look. It even, look at this. Let's say you pick this zone here, right? The same thing apply. You have the zone that is responsible for the break. But this is all on all time frames. So all I'm doing, let's go back to the minute. If I'm looking for something quick, right? Even if I'm on the wrong side, all I'm looking for is I'm looking for some neighborhood, let's just call it, that resembled the larger stuff that I'm looking at. And then I'm looking for zones that are on the lower end of this neighborhood. That's all I'm doing. And whether I'm right or wrong, I know I'm going to get some momentum out. Right? Holding it depends on what's happening out here. But if you just follow the rule, not even rules, the concepts that we're looking at now, you can go on any market, anywhere, look at the daily. Right? Look, you pick a range and the zone at the bottom. Right? Or if you like to short, because the difference, like if you know to long and short, you make money on both sides. So you have the zone at the top. Look, you see the zone at the top here. You see the swing at the top. And you know you're at the top over here. You're at the top. Oh, you're like, well, I'm on the side. Momentum is on my side now. So I can be a little bit more cheeky and take scalps that, hold them a little bit longer. So this zone here was responsible for the first break. The zone that always gets killed, right? Just always remember, the zone that always gets killed. You see it get run. and then the zone next to it that cause the break off the trend, right, is so many wicks in here. You know what I mean? It's hard to tell, but if you just take this zone here and you're like, all right, I'm near the 50, cool. It's the same thing, right? Or you just take it on this smaller zone here, which yeah, I'm near the 50 of this smaller zone in here. Watch it, bam. And this don't take long because this is well, I lie, man, I tell. It take long to do that, but it's the same principle that apply on the 1 minute. Let's look at this zone here. The 1 minute. It's like a small empire right here. Or even take this, for instance. You can take this. Well, this don't happen yet, but you can see. You can see how you would approach it. Alright, look at this one here. This one here. This swing here. It's still the same. Somewhere in here, on a smaller time frame, there's a zone that is responsible for the thing, and it got ran and then it trade down, but it's a small zone. So larger zones now, you would say that, all right, you would trade short up here because yes, you're at the top here, but more importantly, well, I wouldn't trade short there because looking at this is a larger thing, right? And this is the zone for the larger thing that is going to get broken. So, and then look, you're at the bottom of this range here. So no, I would trade short here outside of this zone because this is more resembling this. Look, I'm at the 50% of this thing here, which yeah, now that you mention it, we're at the 50 here, so the momentum here could be strong enough to send it down. We don't know, but we know that if we trying to make some money, right, if I want to be safe, I'm gonna wait until something gets taken and then take my risk up here, because I know that up here is the top of this small range here, which is at the top of which is at the bottom of this larger range here. Well, not at the bottom, it's in the middle, which is very unpredictable, right? That's why I'm like, it might come down here, or it might come down here. I'm not too sure. But this is where you just wait, right? And if you're hungry, it's like, all right, I'm very hungry. There's a zone under here. So I can say, all right, I'm looking for shorts. And there's a larger zone, which if you're more comfortable with this, then just wait until this break. Because you like looking at the guide now, you're counting your swings. Now you're like, oh shit, no, I'm counting my swings and I'm just at the second swing, the first swing here. So damn, right? That's how you gotta approach it. But if you just follow like, all right, I don't know where this is going long term, but I know where I'm at right now. And I know that after this zone gets liquidated, then you get a push down, then it's safe to just wait till it come up here. It might take all day. It might take a couple days. Yeah. At least this is, this is where you're going to strike. And based on size, this is probably more safer than here. Now, what if it come down here? Well, if it come down here, all right, then I missed that opportunity. But at least I know that this here is somewhere that I maybe looking at this can take a move, but you'd probably want to wait till it got deeper in here because it's so small. Just wait till it go down deep. But you usually get a reaction down here from this thing, and that's just the thing. And we know that it following structure, but at some time frames, just you can still eat. Like let's say we just enter the market here. We enter the market here. We don't know what's going on the higher time frame. We don't know nothing, right? And we see that this is a swing here, this big thing right here. So we say, all right, we'll just treat this as a higher time frame swing, even though it looks small as shit compared to where we're at, 50%. So now, if you know, all right, let's just say this is it's at the 50, you can anticipate that. All right, well, I can ride the momentum up, and just look for some smaller action inside here. Let's say they shoot up here and you pick this zone here and you say, all right, it's coming down, and it did not come down. You're like, damn, what the fuck, right? Just pick the next zone that's in here, the next Nike. I know that, all right, I'm going to wait till this boy get clapped. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to take it up. All right, you're good. All right, y'all. I'm finna go back test, but yeah, that's how you do it. All right, peace.